Did you know that after enslaving and colonizing Haiti for 300 years, France insisted on collecting reparations from that same country? Hi, welcome to another episode of Sankofa Pan African series. Today, I have a guest who will be sharing some insights from her wealth of experience on Haiti and other issues concerning Africa and the African diaspora. Joanna Leblanc is currently a senior advisor to both Haiti's ambassador to the United States and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She's responsible for influencing foreign policy in the US Congress and other institutions and advising the government on immigration, foreign investments, and national security related matters. Please join me in welcoming Joanna Leblanc. Thank you very much, Joanna Leblanc, for making the time to be a part of the Sankofa Pan African series. I'm really excited to be talking to you today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and pleasure.
So let's start by knowing a bit more about you. Where you were born, where you were raised, how you got to be in the field you're in now.
I was born in the Republic of Haiti. It's an island located in the Americas, and particularly in the Caribbean. I left my home country at the age of 9, and as most immigrants, I moved to the United States with my mom for the purpose of pursuing the American dream, right? To pursue life, liberty, and happiness, because the reality is that my country just was not in the position to provide my mother and her children the opportunities that she wanted. So we left. And I've been in the United States since then. And since my arrival, I've focused a lot on my education, because I believed early on that in order for me to have a better and brighter future, education needed to be at the center. So I went on and earned a bachelor's degree and then a master's degree, or all in the in political science field, and then went on and pursued a doctor of jurisprudence in international law, and then on earned another degree, an advanced degree in law, a master of laws in national security and foreign relations. But one thing I want to make clear is that I'm not a professional student. Because when people hear all of these degrees, they automatically assume that, this lady, she just been, in school. No, that has not been my reality. I've worked the entire time, either as an adjunct professor or a researcher or something of that nature. But this is who I am. And today I am working in my field in the international space, where I am in constant interaction with the United States Congress, the White House, the State Department, as well as other financial institutions, to ensure that the interest of the country that I work for is properly represented. So that's it. And on top of that, I serve as a political and national security commentator on television. You can find me on Channels Television very often, where I'm often interviewed by Amarachi Ubani and many other networks across Africa and here in the United States. So that's it.
In fact, it's even more remarkable that you've managed to, keep busy working whilst also amassing all these degrees. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. God is good. God is good.
Your background, Haiti. It's for me as a historian, as someone who is fascinated by by history, especially the history of Africa and people of African descent anywhere in the world. Haiti is plays such a huge role, a remarkable role, in the history of Black people, especially in the Western Hemisphere. Can you tell us a bit more about the importance of Haiti? You know.
Yes, the history of my birth country, the Republic of Haiti, is one that I'm profoundly proud of.
To learn how to call it properly. The
Yeah,
it's
the
IT,
Republic of
not
Haiti. Yes,
IT. Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it is one that I'm profoundly proud of, and the reason being is that my country is the first Black independent country in the world. The country gained its independence in 1804 through a bloody revolution with France. And let's think about this for a second. In
Mm.
1804, slavery was booming here in the United States. Berlin Conference had not even taken place yet in Africa, right? So I always like to say this. Haiti is we are the originators of the Black Lives Matter movement, right? Again, through a bloody revolution, we were able to gain our independence from France. But what people don't understand is that um, gaining our freedom came with a price because the fight was not just for us to liberate ourselves under the oppression and suppression of France. It was also about liberating Black people from all over the world. So in 1805, a year after we gained our independence, we amended the Haitian Constitution to make it such that anybody who is Black who were to step foot on Haiti soil will be considered free. A white man could not own land in the Republic, nor be a slave master. So, in essence, those sorts of laws severely undermined white supremacy because, as we all know, slavery and colonialism and oppression have always been about utilizing Black body for financial gains. So Haiti was was left in the dark in the corner by itself. In fact, the United States did not recognize our independence for 60 years. France, we had to pay reparations to France in the billions of dollars in today's currency. So it came with a huge price, but I think my ancestors understood very early on that you can't be bought, and another human being should not own you as property. And they did what was necessary to liberate the people of Haiti. It's a history that I'm so proud of, and it's so much more detailed. It would require us to be here for another 3-4 days.
So let's rewind a bit. France made Haiti pay reparation for enslaving and keeping people, I mean, bringing people from from Africa and enslaving them in Haiti. And then when Haiti got its independence, France made you guys pay reparation.
Yes, indeed, that's exactly what happened. Um, and um, And yes, the original people of the land were the Tainos, which were essentially Indians.
Yes.
And we were brought over from West Africa
Mm-hmm.
during the slave trade and so on, even before the slave trade, actually. So Haitians, we are Africans, which is why I'm so proud of my African culture, my African heritage. If you look at Haiti and all of the other Caribbean countries, you will see that there's something unique about Haitians. We look to Africa for inspiration. In fact, when we die, we believe that we go back to Guinea. That's what we believe.
Back to where?
Guinea,
Oh,
Guinea.
Guinea.
We look to the African continent for inspiration, and a lot of our culture and our way of living is very similar to the way of living in different countries, in particular in West Africa. And I know this to be a fact because, again, I was born in Haiti, I've lived in Haiti, and I've also lived in different countries throughout the African continent, and in particular, Ghana, South Africa, Malawi, and so on. And I've also traveled to Nigeria for vacation and such. And I can tell you there's so much similarities. And as I'm walking down the streets of Lagos, Abuja, or Benin, I see myself in the people. I see my mom. I see my siblings. I see my cousins. We have so much similarities. Even our mannerism is very similar. So.
So, but this reparation thing is really huge, you know, especially considering how long Africans, African Americans have been asking for reparation for slavery, for colonization, and the fact that there's no European country yet that has agreed to pay reparation. But that France made a tiny country with all the challenges that Haiti has been facing. And do you have an idea of how much was paid back to France and when the payment was completed? Because these are things, we need to amplify, even as we continue to insist, on reparation, that we need to amplify the fact that it's been done. France collected reparation illegally, unjustly.
When have you ever heard this? You lose the war, but the winner pays, right?
Yes.
It's a form of oppression. It's again taking resources away from a country that after its independence, it was left on its own. Because what you have to understand is that because the republic was not recognized as an independent state, that meant we could not trade with other nations. We had to rely on ourselves for our own survival, right? And at the time, the leadership in France knew what they were doing. It was another form of oppression. If I can't enslave you, you will pay me. Either way, because it is another form of slavery, because that form of payment bankrupt the country to a certain extent. And there's been a movement by some of the young revolutionaries in the Republic for France to pay back everything that Haiti paid for winning its independence.
And this must have been in the 1800s.
Of course, yes, absolutely. Well, we paid it off. It has not been that long ago. I think it has not even been 20 years since we paid it off.
You've got to be kidding me. Since the 1800s, they were collecting.
It's in the billions of dollars in today's currency. Yes, indeed.
Oh my God. This discussion will be continued in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sankofa Pan-African series channel. Like our videos and please share them with your contacts.